Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. This is your host, Frances Vidakovic, and on this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the most valuable strategies to live your one wildly beautiful and most precious life. Because this is it, my friend. In case you haven't guessed, when it comes to life, there's no rewind or pause button that exists. They say that the way that you spend your days is the way that you spend your life. So my one and only goal here is to help you stop wasting your time, stop holding yourself back in life, stop experiencing non-stop negative mind chatter, stop just dreaming without doing, and start living life fearlessly instead, with more purpose, focus, and intention. I sincerely want you to live life in a way that when you come to the end of it, you know deep down in your heart that you 100% gave it your all, flaws and all. This podcast is not about doing life perfectly. Instead, it is about experiencing and living life with more clarity and courage and truly appreciating this precious adventure that we are so blessed to be on. So if you're with me here today, it's time to stop spinning in circles, get off the hamster wheel for good, put your hands back on the steering wheel of your life, and finally start living life in a way that you won't later regret. With that being said, let's dive on in. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I'm your host, Frances Vidakovic, and today's episode is all about putting yourself on a word diet. So this is probably a concept you haven't considered before, but I'm going to let you know exactly what I mean by it in today's really short and sweet episode. So in case you don't know, one of my signature courses is called the Managing Your Mind Master course, which is all about helping you ditch the mental clutter and the negative mind chatter today, not tomorrow, so that you can feel really focused and calm on a daily basis. So many people think that that's not possible, but it totally is. Of course, like you can be really calm and focused. That is within your reach on a daily basis. And when you show up in life in this way, it completely changes your experience and your results in life. So what do I mean by the term word diet? So let's just start by defining what the word diet means. Okay. So for the most part, like what a diet really is, it's just referring to the food that animals, including humans, consume habitually on a daily basis. Like whatever you're eating every day is your diet. But then there's that second, more common definition that we tend to reach for whenever we hear that term diet nowadays. Okay, and it always has that negative connotation. And that's when we like limit ourselves or restrict ourselves to particular sorts of food. Maybe it's for medical reasons or to lose weight. Now, generally speaking, and I looked at the stats, but the diet industry is worth an estimated $175 billion. That was last year's stats. And it's said to reach $334 billion by the year 2030. Okay, which is pretty crazy when you think about like with the coaching industry, which is also relatively new. And that's all about helping us manage our minds better. That's only worth $15 billion. Okay, so people are spending way more money making sure that they're taking care of their bodies as opposed to taking care of their minds. So for the most part, when you hear that someone's on a diet, like that sounds like a pretty normal thing, I think nowadays. I think most of us have come across people that are on a diet. And of course, we all have our own opinion on what we think about diets and so forth. But for the most part, like when someone has that goal to get healthier or to lose weight to be healthier, we think that sometimes it's valid because it's important to take care of our bodies and to prioritize our physical health. Now, I could probably go on a major rant here and chat about for hours about how the reason why so many of us actually overconsume food in the first place will get to the point of obesity, like unless there is, of course, an underlying medical reason or condition, is actually due to the fact that we're not managing our minds well. Maybe we're eating as a way of coping with our negative feelings, our emotions, or maybe we have all these bad habits that lead to poor eating and a lack of exercise, which is often directly connected to the thoughts that we have about food, the thoughts that we have about our body, the thoughts that we have about exercise. And it's pretty easy to predict what will happen if you try to lose weight with a negative mindset, when you don't truly believe that weight loss is possible, when you secretly believe that it's too hard, that you're not worthy of losing weight, that you're destined to fail, that you're going to give up. You've already decided you're going to give up at the first sign of discomfort. When you have that mindset, the weight continues to stay on. And of course, like we all like to blame the diet for not working, even though it was probably our mindset. Like our mindset was the thing that led to that failure. And I should probably add here that you can never create a body that you love when you're actually like nonstop hating it. So now that I've defined that word for you, diet, I'm going to suggest to you this idea of putting yourself on a word diet. So just like you would on a normal diet, restrict or limit yourself from eating like an abundance of really crappy food that makes you feel bad. And you probably like have to avoid foods that have zero nutritional value because you know it's going to lead to results in a body that you don't love. I want you to refrain from consuming words that give you the same crappy result. Now, I really think that people don't pay close enough attention to the words that they're thinking inside their own head every single day. The words that they are feeding on, the words that they're using to fuel them to take action. And often like bad words or negative words lead to poor actions and probably maybe even a lack of action. Our brains really do need to be like mentally stimulated. And there's research out there that confirms a lack of stimulation often causes a brain to atrophy. But first things first, I want you to start by beginning to pay close attention to the words that you're already telling yourself, the words you're already like consuming on a daily basis. Words that might seem pretty innocent at first glance, but they really do have the power to negatively impact your feelings, actions, and consequently your results in life if they're negative, okay? Positive thoughts are going to lead to positive feelings, positive actions, positive results, and just the same, negative thoughts are going to lead to negative feelings, negative actions, and negative results in your life. So a quick way to pinpoint the non-useful thoughts that you need to ditch are the thoughts that make you feel really powerless, defeated, overwhelmed, and stressed, or any real negative emotion, to be honest. And a few examples might include, well, I can't do that. That's easy for other people, not me. Why would I even bother trying if I'm just going to fail? That isn't worth the effort. If that person changes, I would be happy. I'm only going to be happy if they change. Or the day is already ruined, or life is too hard, it's too late, and so on and so on. Now, if I had to create a list of like all the potential crappy thoughts in the world, guess how long it would be? Okay, my estimate's going to be that it would probably wrap around the world at least twice, because there's no limit to all the negative thoughts you could potentially choose to embrace. And I do say the word intentionally here. You are choosing to embrace it. Even though it might feel really instinctive to you, like second nature, the truth of the matter is that we are in control of our brains and we are ultimately the boss of the thoughts that we choose to repeat every single day to ourselves. Now, this isn't to say that negative thoughts aren't ever going to enter your mind, okay? When you tap into your own personal power and you decide I'm going to step into this, I'm the boss of my brain mode, because heads up, okay? We all entertain both negative and positive thoughts at times, okay? Or probably every single day if I'm going to be entirely honest. But there's a difference between thinking a negative thought and letting it go as opposed to like lavishing it with attention, cradling it, believing it's a truth, and thinking that all the nicer kind of thoughts are just a lie and this one is the one that you want to stick with. Just because you think a negative thought doesn't mean you have to invite it to sit with you at every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner as if it belongs there with you. When in fact, if it's making you feel crappy and a thought is preventing you from feeling a sense of peace and taking action on your goals, it does not belong at the table with you. It doesn't belong with you, like full stop. I want to remind you here that you get to choose what you hold on to and what you let go. And every time negative thoughts comes into your brain, you might say like, nice try, okay? You can think that you're going to swindle a permanent spot in my precious brain space, but I'm going to escort you to the door. And here's another heads up. Crappy thoughts are going to non-stop knock at your door. And sometimes they're going to sneak their way in. They're going to make it, back to that table. It might even disguise itself in pretty clothing and speak to you in a really lovely, sweet voice as if it has your best interests at heart. But it doesn't, okay? It doesn't. So you need to learn to decipher when thoughts aren't useful, learn to decipher when thoughts are making you feel bad, recognize their toxic power. And when you do recognize it, tell it it's time to leave, okay? You refuse to entertain it anymore. And so my friend, here in this episode, I just want to suggest to you 2 thoughts, okay? Word diet is going to involve just 2 thoughts that I want you to remove from your life starting today. And the first is this sentence, I don't know. So I recorded a whole podcast about this back in episode 181. It's all about stop saying I don't know. And this is the one sentence that probably is more responsible for keeping more people stuck and more people confused in life, because it is a dead end sentence. Okay, the moment you say I don't know, your brain just accepts it as a truth and it doesn't even bother to help you find a solution. So from here on, whenever you hear yourself say this, I don't know, I want you to replace it with I actually do know. I have the answer within. I actually do know what movie I want to watch tonight. I actually do know what's the next step to take in my biz. I actually do know what we're going to have for dinner. And trust that your brain already has the answer within. We're so used to looking to other people for validation, looking to others for answers. And when you do this, constantly ask other people to help you, find those answers, you actually fail to practice that muscle within you where you learn to develop a deeper trust in yourself, a deeper trust in your intuition, and a trust in your decision-making skills. So that's the first sentence I want you to practice ditching, okay? Get rid of I don't know. And the second sentence that I want you to ditch is this is too hard. Okay, it's too hard. And this is specifically related to you responding to a request that you secretly want to do, but you tell yourself, no, okay, it's not even possible. Before you've even tried, because you probably have zero belief in yourself, zero belief in your capability, and you're not confident you can pull it off, okay? So you're just assuming ahead of time, it's too hard, so you're not going to even try. So in this example, this is too hard leads to you not even giving it a go, like I said. And this is another sentence that automatically just takes away your personal power for you. So what I want you to replace this sentence with is this. I can figure it out. Because guess what? When you tell yourself that you will figure it out, you open yourself up to solutions. You open yourself up to this idea that, yeah, potentially you might be able to do it and you will find a way. So it's like Marie Forleo-Sawazi said in her book, which I absolutely love. If you haven't read it, go and read it today. Everything is figure-outable. Everything is figure-outable. There's so much power in that one sentence. I definitely believe it is true. There's an answer for everything out there in this world when you go looking for it. And if you're telling yourself, I have this particular thought, I can figure this out. That makes you part of the solution as opposed to part of the problem. Okay, one of my favorite quotes is, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution. So which one do you want to be? And just a quick side note here, in addition to telling yourself, well, I can figure it out, you can also tell yourself sometimes things are hard, but you can do the hard stuff. So my friend, that's it for today's really short and sweet episode. If you're open to the challenge, consider putting yourself on this particular word diet and completely removing those two thoughts from your brain. I don't know, and it's too hard, okay? We want to get rid of that from your mental food consumption and instead replace them with, I actually do know, okay? I have the answer within and I will figure this out. So if you try this out, let me know how you go. I always love to hear from you. And if you want to dive in even deeper into this work of managing your mind well, you know that I can help you. Make sure to check out my Managing Your Mind Master course, which you can find under my shop tab on my website, Inspiring Mum Life. And honestly, when it comes to doing this thought work, I believe that you can only take things to a certain level on your own. But when you make this investment, inside this course, you're going to go deeper than you ever have before and discover a step-by-step, foolproof process that's going to help you implement these strategies with ease. This is a course that I wish every student in every school in the world was taught. I wish that people had this information, because when you learn to manage your mind, you create completely different results in your life. And so that's it for today, my friend. As always, I love and appreciate you all. Until next time, much love, and I cannot wait to catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I really appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your life. If you'd love to stay in touch, please know that you can always find me on Instagram at Vidakovic, or you can visit my website, inspiringmumlife.com, where you can sign up and receive so many amazing freebies that I've created just for you to help you implement all my teachings into practice. There you'll also find all my online courses, resources and programs that I've created to help you up-level your life in seriously the simplest way possible, so that you can ultimately create for yourself a life that feels simpler, lighter, and allows you to show up in a way that you love as your best and most authentic version of yourself. Now remember, this podcast is all about not just dreaming but also doing, because to create true sustainable change in your life, you need to be willing to do things differently. And that's what I'm here to support you to do every single step along the way, so that you too can begin to live your one wild and precious life with less stress, less overwhelm, less drama, and instead with zero regrets. Finally, if this podcast resonates with you at all and you appreciate the content, I would absolutely love for you to show your support by leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm on a mission to help more people wake up to the preciousness of life and to help them live their days with more intention and purpose, and your review will help make this goal of mine possible. Well, once again, thank you so much. I have loved spending this time with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again. I'm Vidakovic, and you have been listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast.